Yo, what's going on, Team Tweedie? I hope you're all super well. Welcome to episode 15 of #AskTweedie. I'm filming this video like a lot earlier than I usually do. Usually I film it at night, but today I'm heading off somewhere. It's about 7 hours travel. The people that know about it is the Snap Squad. If you're not part of the Snap Squad, you got to add me. My name or username will be link in the description, so add me there. I give like exclusive stuff because you get to find out a couple of days in advance what's actually going on. So the Snap Squad knows exactly what happened yesterday, what I'm doing today, and you just get a bit more inside knowledge into the journey. So let's crack this one off straight away. I need to get to the question. So, just had a bunch of exams, which have meant I could only do 2 to 3 decent training sessions a week for the past 3 weeks. I lost momentum big time, as was training 5 to 6 times weekly before. Ever happened to you, and any advice? #AskTweedie. So basically what we have here is a situation where somebody has to prioritize something such as exams, and they're missing out on 3 sessions a week. It could be 3 to 4 sessions a week, which is not good. And I think at the end of the day, no matter what your priorities are, anything that you say that you can't do, say this player here is saying that they can't go and do a training session or a decent training session because of exams. Usually I see that as an excuse. Of course, sometimes you have to study for exams, or maybe your parents won't let you, but how I always say it, and I've used this before, is that let's say you arrive, I always used to arrive home at about 4 o'clock, I think it was. Maybe, yeah, I think it was 4 o'clock, maybe 4:30. And, you know, if I wanted to train or I had team training, I'd have to get my homework done in the car. I remember so many times having to do it in the car, or I'd have to do it when I got home, or I'd have to do it like literally the next morning before school so that I could actually get it done. And I think the biggest thing is not making excuses to yourself and not lying, because at the end of the day, let's say for example, you get home really late. This is to cover for most people. You get home 5 o'clock, right? And let's say you go to bed 10:30, like you're asleep in bed, lights out, 10:30. That is, what's that? That's 5.5 hours to do whatever you need to do. And if you need to do a decent training session by yourself, then like you got 5.5 hours. Like if you want to do an hour session, now you got 4.5 hours to have dinner and study. So when you put it in that scheme of things, if you really want to train, you can. And you know, some of you guys might say, oh, but I have team training session and I can't do an individual session. Well, a team training session is better than an individual session. So if you have a team training session, you should be stoked that like you're doing that instead of an individual training, because you're going to learn so much more depending on what your coach does, of course. So I'd say, look, man, no matter what, even if you have exams, even if, of course, if you have an injury, but still, even an injury, there's no reason for you to not be analyzing games. There's just a ton of things that you can do. Also, by the way, link in bio to my website where you can get 50% off the 2 game analyses, Kevin De Bruyne and Neymar, winger and attacking midfield. Make sure you check that out. Sale ends January 1st. So yeah, you can pretty much just do whatever you want on those days, and like you have 5.5 hours to decide what you're gonna do. So, you know, exams, whatever, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I have a lot more time now, but back then, like I said, homework in the car. Sometimes I'd miss a bit of school to train just because my dad would let me. Just, you know, it's about not making those excuses and trying to get your parents on your side as well. And look, I think if you do your study, or if you do your homework and say, hey dad, hey mum, I want to train now, I've done all my homework, they're going to say, okay, why wouldn't they let you? But if you say, oh, I want to train, they say, have you done your homework? And you say, no, go do your homework. So it's about getting that done and then being able to train, or working out something with your parents. So next question. Here's the question anyway. At a trial, should I pass more than dribble, or dribble more than I pass? I want to show good intelligence, but I feel like I need to stand out more. So I think trials are difficult, and I remember having this conversation with my dad a lot about how he was trying to work out what's best to do at a trial, and I think you need to show a bit of everything. So if you can beat players well, then you need to do that. I think the most important thing is the decision making of it, because I'm just trying to think back to like when I was coaching and what I would like to see in a player. I wanted them to see the decision that I saw. So if I was in their shoes, I'm going, you got to pass that across the field, or I'm thinking, you got to go 1v1 there. And I think it's about finding the right skill, or not skill, but like the right thing to do at that football moment. So if you're in a 1v1, take that 1v1. They want to see players with good football knowledge. So there's no point going to a trial, receiving the ball, taking a touch and passing every time, as if your passes are always going back. If you're passing and you're making these amazing killer passes, which are through the centre back and the full back, and you're putting the winger through, and you're doing that every single time, or you're giving the striker opportunity to score by passing, then they're going to look at that and go, okay, this guy's really good at passing. He's able to see runners going into the box. He's able to get other players into goal scoring opportunities. But then they might look at you when you try to take players on 1v1 when it's not on, and they go, what's he doing? He doesn't understand the game. So I think it really comes down to decision making. Try and just be natural with it. If you think it's good to go 1v1, if you think it's good to try and beat a couple of players, go for it. And if it doesn't work, move on to the next thing. If it's the better decision to pass, then make that pass. But what I would say is don't be so safe at trials. And like when I say safe, like if you're just receiving the ball, passing back to the centre back, or you're the centre back and you just pass across to the other centre back every time, they're not going to see anything special in you. When they're looking for a player, they're looking for someone who can add value to the squad. I remember back to my under 18s trial as an under 17s player, and I would get the ball. I just remember that session, I absolutely killed it. Actually, no, an even better one. When I was trialing for Sydney FC Youth, the youth league team, I didn't take many players on, but my passing was very, very good. I was putting players into good positions. I can't remember taking anyone on because I was very scared and nervous at that point. It was the first time I was at like a very big club, and I would take 1-2 touches, but that's what the coach really liked. He liked that I was able to receive the ball and play it out, and I identified where the ball needed to go. So if the ball was on this side and I received as an attacking midfielder, I knew that it had to go to the other side. So he must have seen that I was able to read the game, but also keep possession. I must have lost the ball like 3 times in the whole game, and that's the best I've ever done. So there's your advice, decision making. That's what it comes down to, I think. Last question. What is your daily schedule like? How many trainings do you have in a week? Be specific. Please ask Alon. Well, Alon's not here, so we're just gonna ask me. What is it? Daily schedule or weekly schedule? Oh, my daily schedule. I thought it was weekly, right? For me now, it depends. For example, today I'm traveling somewhere, so I woke up about 10:30 because I had to sleep in, because I'll be arriving home very late. For example, next week when I train with Crawley on a Monday, I have to wake up at about 8:15 or so, leave at 9 o'clock, and then I might not get back till 2:30. I think we do 2.5 hours training, sometimes 3 hours, depending on what happens with the session. And then when I get back, maybe I'll do a gym session. I'll edit a video for you guys. I'll have a lot of chill time. It's like I get a lot of free time, and I think people look at football as like, oh my god, it's full time. He must be working so hard. But realistically, there's a lot of free time in it. Once the training's done, it's kind of up to you whether you want to push yourself a bit further. And then for example, next Tuesday I might train with Crawley in the morning, come home, just chill out, and then in the afternoon go somewhere else to do a training session at night with another team. So it's kind of like a bit all over the place. I don't have a specific daily schedule, and I don't think anyone really does, because each day is different, your body is different. So for example, I have a session tonight, but then tomorrow I have a leg session planned in my head, but if I'm not feeling that, if my legs aren't feeling the best, then I'm not going to do a leg session. It's simple as that. So daily schedule, yeah, it's very difficult for me because I have different times when I need to be awake. So for example, tonight I'm not going to get home until about 1:45 in the morning. That's because of travel time and where I'm going and stuff. Like I said, if you haven't joined the Snap Squad, that's where you can find out what's happening. But yeah, it's like, so I get home at 1:45, and then on Monday I have to wake up at 8:30, so I might go to bed at, I don't know, 11, 12, whatever. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling, how my body's feeling and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. I hope those questions helped you guys. If you haven't already joined the hashtag AskTweedie family, make sure you do. Team Tweedie, I'm signing out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Yeah, what was I going to say join the journey. Yeah, I already said join the hashtag AskTweedie family, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.